Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 Now. What a frenzy of a day. The first day of NHL free agency, July 1st. A lot of movement across the league. Maybe a bit underwhelming for the Utah Hockey Club, but to be honest, maybe that's a good thing. The contracts handed out today were crazy to say the least. We're in the first year of that cap increase, increasing a large amount for the first time since 2019, definitely pre-COVID. So definitely some contracts are a bit askew. They leave you scratching your head. Labushkin is a $3 million player. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, like a lot, some of these players are definitely getting paid more than they would when it was during the flat cap era. And Sunday night before free agency day, Bill Armstrong announced his expensive signing of restricted free agent Sean Durzi. And thankfully after that, Bill put the phone down. For me, I guessed that Durzi would have got 3 years by $3 million. So I think I got the years right. Sort of an extended bridge type deal, but $6 million, that is a lot of cash for Sean Durzi. This contract right here by Bill Armstrong and company, it's paying for the future. It's definitely not paying for what Durzi has done. He had the same amount of goals and points with the Coyotes as he did with the Los Angeles Kings. But on the Kings, he was behind Drew Doughty. On the Coyotes, he was the number one defenseman. He averaged 3 minutes per game more with the Coyotes than with the Kings and had a total of 100 more minutes on the power play with the Coyotes than the Kings, but still ended up around the same scoring totals. He only scored 1 goal in the last half of the season from games 41 to 82, and I'm pretty sure that 1 goal came in the last game in Arizona Coyotes history as we know it so far. But $6 million for Durzi, there's something there with him. He never looked out of place. It's just with these types of offensive defensemen, all you're looking at is a score sheet. Like, where is he? Is he scoring? Is he getting assists? He's not that defensive stalwart, will keep the puck out of your zone, an incredible intangibles, unnoticeable defenseman who's really good for your team. This is an offensive defenseman whose job is to score and generate offense. I like the way he facilitated power play number one, but for whatever reason, he wasn't getting those assists. I mean, he doesn't have that big shot from the back end. We'll see with the addition of Sergachev, if Sergachev gets power play number one and Durzi goes to power play number two. But $6 million, definitely Durzi's camp wins out on that one. Not really a team-friendly deal from Utah's side. But again, it's not like Utah's hurting for cash. It's a little bit acceptable, and hopefully there's things there that he could improve and earn that $6 million contract. There's things there. It's not there just yet. So hopefully Durzi progresses and improves and gets better. He's 26 years old. So again, just like Sergachev, who's 26, 27, you're getting these defensemen for their prime years. This is it. You get Durzi from 26 to 30 years old. That should be his best years of his NHL career. Moving on from Durzi, we get a fourth line centerman, sort of winger in terms of Kevin Stenlund coming from Florida, who obviously just won a cup a week ago. 2 years, $2 million. Love this signing. He's a huge guy. What is he, 6'5", 6'4", 215 pounds. He's 27 years old, but only about 6 years of NHL experience. But honestly, for his first time ever in his NHL career, he played more than 55 games this last season with Florida. He had like 4 seasons with Columbus, up and down in the lineup in the NHL, AHL, but he played 81 games for the Panthers. Panthers loved him. He got 11 goals, 15 points in 81 games played. He has about 51% on the faceoffs. And for me, the glaring issues for this Utah team coming from the Coyotes, it's faceoffs, defense, and maybe goaltending. Not sure that was because of the bad defense or we need an upgrade on the goalies, but I'm okay with the goalies moving forward like I've already said. So good for Stenlund. That's a good fourth line player. Could take some ice and games played away from O'Brien. A big body, two-way forward centerman, plays good defensively, good on the penalty kill. I like that signing. I was looking for that type of player in my free agency video, like Martinuk, Amadio, Joshua. Of course, Utah didn't grab any of those players. Then we go to the veteran defenseman in Ian Cole, 35 years old, 6'1", 225 pounds. That's a big body. Not tall, but a bit hefty there. 1 year, $3.1 million. For sure an overpayment, but it's 1 year, so you're not going to complain about that. Ian Cole, 14 years in the NHL, started off his career in the St. Louis Blues for 5 years, and that's where he has that connection with Bill Armstrong, and he won 2 cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins, so another cup winner along with Stenlund and Sergachev. It's great to add those cup winners, that cup pedigree, players who know how to win. For Ian Cole, I'm looking at a 7th defenseman, maybe pushes Kesselring to be a bit better on that 6th defenseman spot. Clears the front of the net, pure defensive defenseman, plays with the body. I'm not going to complain about that. He's an upgrade over Josh Brown, who we lost. And then out of all the returning Coyotes, they had to get Kevin Connauton. If you see Kevin Connauton wear a Utah jersey this upcoming season, something went wrong. An injury, they went off the deep end and they're losing a bunch of games and they called up Connauton. This should be a Tucson Roadrunners player. It's a 2-way contract. The only one on this board that's 2-way. So he's probably going to get paid way less for the Roadrunners. He should be a veteran defenseman presence on the Roadrunners. Last year, he was playing in the American Hockey League as well. Kevin Connauton was around during the Rick Tocchet years. I hope I don't have to see him. It's so funny how he's back on the team, but nothing else to say about him. If you see him, like I said, wearing a Utah jersey, there's definitely an injury, a big injury somewhere. Then we go to Valimaki and Kesselring, 2 other restricted free agents that re-signed contracts. I think I got these pretty much right. I said Kesselring would get $1.5 million for 2 years. He got 1.4 for 2 years. Bill Armstrong watches my videos and wanted me to be wrong by $100,000. And then Valimaki, I said 2 years, $1.5 million, the same as Kesselring, and he gets 2 years by $2 million. I'm okay with Kesselring and Valimaki. I hope they're the bottom pairing of a Kesselring Valimaki, and then you have Durzi, Sergachev, Marino up top on the top 3 defensemen, and then there's a glaring hole, and I don't know who's going to be that player. Maybe Kolyachonok and Soderstrom fight for it. Maybe there's another trade or free agent signing Bill Armstrong is getting. But if Valimaki becomes that 4th defenseman with Marino or paired with Durzi, and then Kesselring and Ian Cole as a 3rd pairing, I don't know. I don't really trust Valimaki as a top 4D. I like him. I would be ecstatic if Valimaki and Kesselring was a bottom pairing and we had another 4th defenseman other than Cole, because he's too old and slow to be a top 4 guy. You don't want him playing top 4 minutes. So if they could get someone else on the D to push Valimaki and Kesselring down, that would be great for me. But I know a lot of fans love Valimaki and think he's okay as a 4th defenseman. We'll see. I would like someone else, but we're not obviously winning a cup next season, so it's okay for now if Valimaki is your 4th defenseman. And then an entry-level contract signed out of college, Mikko Matika, who won the championship in the NCAA with Denver a couple months ago. He'll go down to the Roadrunners. He had 20 goals, 33 points in 43 games played with Denver. He's a winger. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. The Roadrunners, I didn't mention it in that Sergachev video. Losing Geekie is pretty big for the Roadrunners, because now you're looking at the top 6 forward. Their defense group is exceptional, but for the forward group, for the Roadrunners, it's like Julian Lutz, Noel Nord, Sam Lipkin, Matika, Yannick, Ratu, Kellerman. They Kellerman and Unique were given offers. They have to sign them still. But missing that sort of star power with the Roadrunners. Maybe Josh Doan starts the season with the Roadrunners. I hope not. I hope Doan solidifies himself with Utah and is a permanent forward for Utah. But yeah, losing Geeky kind of loses that star, like I already said, that star power for the Roadrunners, and a lot of like lower class prospects are starting to fill up the forward core of the Roadrunners, just missing that high end prospect like a Gunther Doan or Geeky like they had last season. Obviously not Geeky, but Gunther and Doan were there for the Roadrunners last season, so they're missing those high end type of guys. Restricted free agent offers we sent to players: Hayden, Soderstrom, Yannick Kellerman, and Curtis Douglas. Over the next coming days or weeks, you should start to see, announcements that they signed their qualifying offers. If they reject those qualifying offers after December 1st, they can't play in the NHL and have to go to Europe. So I expect most of those players, or all of them, to sign their offers. And we lost Travis Boyd to Minnesota, Josh Brown to Edmonton, and Nathan Smith to Vancouver. So Matika sort of replaces Nathan Smith. We grabbed him at the trade deadline 2 seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons ago. We got him and McBain at the same time at the deadline. And it seemed like Nathan Smith had more skill than McBain, but McBain filled in his role so well, being that gritty, competitive fighter, grinder, third line, fourth line sort of power forward type player. For Nathan Smith, he was more skilled but couldn't crack a top 6 in the Coyotes, and that's why he was rarely called up, because he wouldn't work well in the bottom 6. That's it for me. A quiet day for Utah, but like I said, that's probably a good thing, and maybe they'll add some more depth role players moving forward. Maybe there's another trade. In terms of cap spending, I think they reached the cap floor now, so they're not forced to spend more money. And they still got about $15 million, I would say, from the ceiling. But I don't expect them to spend that much this season, because, you got to spend and offer your young guns some contracts. Gunther, Cooley, Michelli moving forward, not so much this upcoming summer, but next summer. If they perform exceptionally, they're going to have to pay them a lot of money. So for right now, I like where it's at. A bit expensive for Durzi. Hopefully that doesn't blow up in their face, and hopefully he lives up to that contract. But for now, I'm okay. We'll move forward with what we have. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.